Good morning, children. It is assholeconsulting.com. If you got questions, Cappy's got answers at assholeconsulting.com. Contingent under one thing, that you have money. Can you imagine a world without money? No, would not exist, because one must transact each other's time in a divisible medium of exchange so that we could produce things and survive, allowing for the division of labor. But that is often too complicated for you college graduates to do. Man, we got a blizzard. Blizzard just rolled in. So I was going to go for a run, but not now, saith the Cappy. We have a very interesting question, and this has ran through my mind several times, but more as it pertains to crime. And I'll admit right off front, I don't think deep down inside I have the answer, because I don't know if there is one. And I'd love to see other people's insights and comments into this. I think I do. And of course, it reverts back to my assumptions and premises about the human mind and how I think everyone is lazy. But the question is basically this, but applied to politics. Is a young man, I was going to say young boy, a young person, because women can commit crimes too. Take your delinquent juvenile, take your thug, take your 13-year-old who's stealing cars and dealing drugs. How responsible is that young kid of his or her own situation, their own crimes? No doubt they grew up under a broken family. They came from a poor neighborhood. Parents were probably absolute shit. And without good, stable parents, it comes from a bad environment while the kid turned out bad. How responsible is that kid for their crime? And then, well, what age is somebody responsible? Well, a 13 or 12-year-old, you're kind of like, Certainly a 5-year-old that steals the stick of bubble gum because they haven't got the concept of ownership or property down. Like, hey, let me explain something to you. You don't beat the kid up over that. But someone who's 25, sure. Well, what about 12, 13, 14, 15? Why arbitrarily the age of 18 and forget law? By 8, I think we'd all agree. 16, you know right from wrong. When do you know right from wrong? When do you hold someone responsible? But this is applied to politics. So, what's his name? Joe writes, "Dear asshole, please keep me anonymous." Video response: how responsible are the young for holding socialistic and communist perspectives? I would argue that the entire K through 12 system is socialistic communistic. Well, yes, you're right. Students are required to attend school due to compulsory attendance laws, which destroys the concept of freedom of association. Students have all their needs met without working for them, which destroys the concept of trade or work ethic. Or even where does the food come from? It comes from the government Oort cloud. They, the universal they, provide for us. There's no monetary reward for going to school and doing the work commanded therein, which destroys the concept of incentive. High IQ kids and or hardworking kids are not encouraged to go faster, which destroys the concept of competitive advantage, not to mention ruins their lives. I mean, a lot of these kids now with school being so low quality, playing to the lowest common denominator, you could probably graduate from high school at the age of 12 if you're a smart kid wanting to get the hell out. No option to go faster is provided in the summers, which also destroys the concept of competitive advantage. For that matter, IQ isn't tested and everyone is presumed to have equal intelligence, which destroys the concept of a bell curve or people just being better at something than somebody else. Superiority, excellence. I don't mean a moral superiority. I mean, that guy is better at math or this gal's better at basketball or whatever. The school withholds information that could lead students to escaping early, i.e. getting your GED or earning credits at community college, which destroys the virtue of production. Homeschool for the win, guys. Students do not get to choose their teachers, the classmates, or the school, which destroys the concept of freedom of association. Students have minimal control over the course sequence until perhaps the last year of high school, which destroys the concept of self-interest. Students have no control or negotiating power over the calendar or their daily schedule, which also destroys the concept of self-interest. Students cannot leave during study halls, destroying the concept of freedom of association. Attendance is valued over performance, which destroys the concept of production or excellence. Schools do not teach any practical real-world skills, which also destroys the concept of trade. And school basically monopolizes the time of the young to be a total experience instead of, for example, being a part-time project that they attend a few days per month, which destroys the possibility of reconnaissance. Thus, the young are put into an environment where they are provided with a supremely unrealistic introduction to life and where the principles of capitalism are not really taught or put into practice. I would go one step further. you're talking about traits of the school, regimented schedule and all U squares are going to fit into this circular peg or a hole. I would say the teachers are horrendously biased towards outright indoctrinating their students with Marxist socialist politics. Don't forget that. Don't forget. I mean, you're describing prison, but then there's the spiritual, moral, philosophical reason kids have to have. Like, well, what are we doing? Oh, you're here to fight the system. You're here to fight for the oppression, man. I mean, so don't forget that. The only capitalistic aspects are the grades that you earn where effort roughly corresponds to performance. So from 0% innocent to 100% guilty, how much are these kids to blame for adopting socialistic and communistic viewpoint? Is it any wonder that they enter college with their minds askew? No, it's no wonder why they enter their college or the real world with their minds askew. And you're 100% right. Yeah, the environment, having a kid go through modern day public school with your modern day parents who are now the Gen Xers and the old millennials who are also like, dude, man, we want to feed our kid an all organic diet. We want to lower our carbon footprint. We need the government to bail us out with the state health insurance exchange. My husband writes poetry and I'm also an author, but not a successful one like that Aaron Clary guy. Yeah, man, follow your heart and the money will follow. Be successful like your parents. So I top of school, you got parents in the media. Yeah. No, they're invited. And wow, I wonder if the broken home single mom family who raises 6 bastard children from 6 different fathers and the kids, wow, they go into crime. I wonder. So like I said, this is a tough one. I don't really necessarily have the answer. And the only thing I can really go on, and let's just focus on politics, is where I have seen behavior over the course of life and me growing up as a child as well. And the concept what I like to call is deep down inside. Deep down inside, unless you are truly mentally ill, I think everybody knows what's right and wrong or what's realistic and unrealistic. For a perfect example would be all these gals who are banging on the table about fat acceptance and big and beautiful and self-love. Deep down inside, they know they're wrong. They know they're fat, they know they're ugly, and they know no guy likes that. But there's got to be a separate piece of the brain that provides a lie. So people, whatever is the responsible for cognitive dissonance, I think that's probably the most powerful part of the brain out there, because it allows you to deny what you know deep down inside is true, but then excuse your behavior. But more specifically, as it pertains to communism, I'll just give you some anecdotes, which is not conclusive proof, but it'll show you how I form my opinion. I remember I was a junior one time and I had to take like a report writing class. And there was a journalism major. Now, this guy was older than me. He must have been 23, 24. This is an adult. And he wrote some rank bias piece about how the military-industrial complex was hiding $67 billion in secret. So I went and I looked up the articles he cited, and I found out that, no, it was accounted for. Nobody was hiding this. It was going into like a secret weapons program, or secret, not even weapons program, but it was classified so that, they still can say, look, we're spending this, but it's going to classified stuff because we don't want our rivals or military rivals to get it or know what we're working on. And when I showed it to him, he's like, I don't care. And that right there is still a relatively young person, someone who's still in college, who obviously was evil. I would say he is okay with lying to people because he had a political leftist Marxist agenda. Another thing more universally is look at the choice of degrees of socialists and communists for people advocating leftist ideological thought among young people today. Both in, like, let's say from high school all the way to even the age of 30. So from, let's say, 15 to 30, that 15-year, you're either in school or you're a young person who's working. Not anymore. All right. If you look at their degree choice, it's not that it's so much worthless, but that it tells you, it's proof that they are lazy, that they don't want to work hard. Because deep down inside, they don't want to learn to code. They don't want to do the maths. They don't want to do the chemistry. They don't want to do the physics. And you'd have me thinking otherwise, that people were cognizant and sentient about, or unconscious and not sentient about it. Like they were just products of their environment. If you had equal parts STEM majors, accountants, and everyone was voting left, but it's not. When you look at these people, without fail, we're talking like 95% of the time, they're in a soft, easy, completely fabricated bullshit liberal arts and social science study. And so I see conscious decision and thought that correlates with, you're just a lazy fuck who doesn't want to work. And it's not that complicated. I don't care how thick Das Kapital is. All it is Marx saying, I'm a lazy fuck and I don't want to work, and other people owe me their labor. Other people owe me their life. Other people owe me their money. And when I look at what's being taught in the schools, what people are majoring in, and what, Democrat kids or outright socialist kids, I'm a lazy. I don't see engineers saying, oh yeah, let's help out the people. And it's a bunch of lazy fucks demanding other people's money. And so when they choose their degree back when they're 17, and they're in high school, I think they have responsibility. They have agency. And the proof of their allegiance towards laziness, their allegiance towards laziness, is proof of that. And then I would even say it goes before that, because I don't care how bad your environment is, your interaction with people, we could even do this, that professor that says, okay, how many of you are socialists? All right, we're all getting C's because I'm going to take the A's. We're going to take points away from them. We're going to give it to you lazy people. And everyone freaked out. It's the same thing with young kids who commit crime. Like by the age of 6, not to take your brother's shit. You know property. And so when you're 12 or 13 and you steal something, I don't care. It's wrong. I don't care how bad of an environment it is. I don't care if there wasn't even a single mother. I don't care how bad your single mother was. Not to take other people's shit because you've interacted with other people. You have this core base of morality and principles and ethics, but you choose to violate. So when you see that, that's easily established by the age of 7, 8, easy. Don't tell me 10 years later, when you're a presumed adult, that you don't know that socialism is stealing other people's money. And so that, and then there's the argument where, okay, they may have this moral principle ethics, the part of their brain that overrides with cognitive dissonance, allowing them to okay, how many of them, when they get into the real world, they repent when they get older, they'll realize, oh yeah, we were lied to. How many of them, oh yeah, this was wrong. Okay, now it's time to stop the games and the horse and pony show and to become a responsible adult. And you could see that, like the boomers are an example of that. Dude, come on, baby, light my fire. Oh, wait, shit, we got kids. Well, let's get divorced anyway, but then we better work. And even not that much. But the millennials are a perfect example of where, boy, you had a housing crisis and now you got the coronavirus. Are you guys learning? No, they're going to vote for Sanders again. You look at polling data based on age, and they just want other people's shit. That's all it is. And I've even seen people who have got kids and they think they're entitled to other people's shit. Like, oh yeah, you pay for me and the rat bastard children I brought in that I can't even afford. That's why I have to go to the state exchange and get insurance. So you, Aaron Cleary, who was responsible, you can pay for my mistakes. So I charter a lot of responsibility. I think by the time you are a high school junior and you're deciding on what your major is, you are fully aware and you are fully responsible for it, because you deep down inside, you're just a lazy fuck who doesn't want to work, and you're going to go major in lazy things and have other. How many of them are asking for a bail? Don't tell me, oh, the banksters and Occupy Wall Street, and how dare you bail out the banksters? Oh, can I get a bailout? I mean, right there, that's another way. It's like, wait a minute, you're completely, you know exactly what you're doing. So I would, if we had to do an allocation, I'd say by the time you're 18 and you're going off to college, and you're demanding the taxpayer guarantee your college experience, and you're going to major in fluffy bunny studies, 80-20. Either 80% of your mind is responsible, knows what it's doing. There's a 20%, oh yeah, I understand you came from this environment, you don't understand ethics, and you truly don't understand critical thinking or intellectual honesty. Okay, I can see you're young and you've been misled. There's no doubt about that. But principally and ethically, you know exactly what you're doing. Or 80% of the people, and there's 20% that are truly dumb. Oh, follow my heart, money. Okay. But everybody knows deep down inside what they're doing is wrong. Or the vast majority of people do. Just as the 12-year-old kid who, I don't care how bad, I don't care if his father wasn't around or his father beat him. A 12-year-old kid should know not to steal bubble gum. And so that's my philosophy there. All right, Miguel Casillas. As a millennial, I'm not responsible for nothing. It's George Bush's fault. Oh, no, you guys got Trump. It's Trump's fault. Trump. What president was there to blame when Obama was in office? I mean, God, who did they blame? Did they have to blame somebody? Trump. They went back to Bush. It was still Bush's fault. That's right. I remember. Juan Cabrera, no more Bernie. Let's go Biden 2020. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So there you go. Questions, answers. AssholeConsulting.com. Take a look at the links below. We'll have another couple Asshole Consulting videos coming up. And in the meantime, why don't you go and get some of our books here? Got the Pence Principle, How Not to Be Accused of Rape. That's not really the title, but it's the short version. Enjoy the Decline, Accepting and Living with the Death of the United States. Worthless, How to Tell if your son or daughter is going to be a worthless person and you didn't stand up to them and say, no, I'm not paying for your liberal arts degree. Bachelor Pad Economics. And then what else? I got to organize these. Curse of the High IQ. Very good book indeed. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.